But I want people to know that I want to spend more time with Emilia. I want to play video games. I want to do these other things. But you know what I want more? I want my goals more.
You're not going to be able to sit on your couch every day and watch movies with your significant other and accomplish your goals, but it might not be working 18-hour days every day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode, number 599, dealing with identity issues, ... Today, for episode number 600, another milestone we have reached, we are going to talk about balancing your goals and your relationships.
600.
It's wild.
It is wild.
It's wild.
So I apologize to everyone out there. My voice is a little bit hoarse today. I am on my way back to well-being. So what's the pre-frame of this episode? I think what Kevin and I constantly recheck in on with ourselves, with our clients, with our intimate partners, with everyone in our life is defining success for yourself and reverse engineering the finish lines that you want in your life. You know, I was on the phone with a client yesterday, and I asked a simple philosophical question. I said, it was actually two clients. And I said, okay, if one person, Elon Musk, wants to colonize Mars, bring electric cars to the mass market, and bring solar panels to try to make the world more environmentally friendly, is he going to have to grow a lot more, learn a lot more, chase his fears a lot more than someone who wants to lose 20 pounds? And they said, yes, of course. And the point that I was making was basically that you will only grow in proportion to the size of the goals and the aspirations that you have. But you also have to understand what comes with that. And I think the reason we're doing this episode is if you, for example, want to be an international speaker and speak all over the world and travel all the time, but you also want to be a family man or woman, those two are not necessarily cohesive. They don't necessarily work unless you want to travel with your family, which is an option too. So I think balancing goals and relationships is something we've all struggled with. I know I've struggled with that a lot in my life, and I think that this will be a juicy topic.
I think one of the problems is that people, you can hear the Worcester sirens in the background. We have the windows open. It is a summer day today. I think one of the problems is it's hard to know who to listen to. Right? There's the Gary V, and he's since talked about this a lot more, where he says, like, I don't want you to grind. I think you need to get sleep and you need to get rest. But there's that aspect of, like, you have to give up everything to have the level of success you want. But I think Gary's putting that through the filter of the level of success he wants. Right? Dave Meltzer, the persistent, consistent pursuit of your potential. Like, he's talking about mastering your potential. But what if you want to just have a successful business and make $100,000 a year? Is that going to take something different than somebody who wants to be a billionaire? For sure. I was on the phone with somebody the other day, and this person said, I'm struggling, or I'm fearful that at some point I'm going to outgrow a person that I care about deeply. And I said, I can understand that.
Their intimate partner in this case?
Yes. I can understand that because I've talked to a lot of people, and I feel like that's normal. And he said, you know, there's certain things that we do that I don't know that I have time to do anymore. Like, one of the examples that I used was Taryn and I do trivia on Tuesday nights. Not every Tuesday night. Obviously, it was winter, so we weren't able to do it. It was winter in Massachusetts. But I said, like, there's no reason you can't do that. You just have to plan for it. It's something, no matter what you're doing, you have to be more proactive than reactive. What you lose when you become an entrepreneur, or somebody who's starting a business, or somebody who sets a new goal that you're taking very seriously, you lose a lot of the opportunities to be reactive. That's what you lose. Because you're proactively working on something that you want to accomplish. Right? So if you, and we've had this happen a couple times where either listeners or former clients or current clients have been out on the East Coast in Massachusetts and reached out to either Alan and I and said, hey, I'd love to meet up. And it's like, I'd love to meet up too, 1,000%. I'd absolutely love to. It's just not in the cards right now. Because I'm proactively doing all this other stuff where this is a reactive decision. When you're busy in your business or your habits or whatever it is, I think that's the shift here. If you want to balance your goals and your relationships, make sure you're doing both of them proactively. And I think that's where a lot of people, they kind of jeff it and they don't check in with it. Right? Taryn and I had a conversation last night about, again, my level of ambition, and what I want to do is different than hers.
Right.
She wants a family, and she wants to have a home where people feel safe and loved, and I love that. I'm so excited about that. I'm just going to have to do a better job of balancing than somebody who had the same aligned goals. Now, my goals are aligned with that, but just in a different way.
Right.
Just in a different way, and it's going to require a different level of proactive versus reactive. And I think that you and I were guilty of this in the beginning, thinking that you could only choose between success and love.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not true.
Yeah. No, it's not.
It's not true. There's a way to get both. It's just going to be a little bit harder.
More challenging.
And I think it's important to say. Can you do it? Absolutely. Now, one of the Gary Vee quotes is basically, no billionaire has ever taken a week off to go skiing.
When they're 24.
When they're 24. Sure. That's probably...
If they created it themselves.
Right.
Right.
That's probably a thing.
Right.
But if you're listening right now and you're like, well, honestly, that's not what I want. I don't want to be a billionaire.
Right.
Then your path is going to be completely different, and it's going to be easier to balance your goals and your relationships.
100%.
But also, you still have to put in the work. So it's like...
I know.
Remember, we're heart-driven, but no BS. You're not going to be able to sit on your couch every day and watch movies with your significant other and accomplish your goals, but it might not be working 18-hour days every day.
Right.
There is a balance. We just have to figure out what side of the balance you're on.
The only way to... So two things. One is definitely balance implies seesaw.
Yes.
Which means like we all picture a balance beam or a seesaw. It's like if one person's heavier than the other, that's out of balance. I don't want anyone to think about it that way because balance might be 60-40, might be 70-30, might be 80-20, might be 90-10. For Gary Vee, he is probably 95% productive, 5% R&R with his family. And so, you know, the amount of balance, the percentage, the mix is going to depend on the size of the goal, right? And like if you want to be an Olympic gold medalist, that is going to require, like if you want to be an Olympic gold medalist like Michael Phelps, you better want to swim every day for the rest of your life. And that's what's required to achieve that goal. But if you don't want that, that's totally fine. So I think integration is another important thing that I want to bring up quickly. So Emilia and I both have very large goals. First and foremost, every one of us right now is a byproduct of three things: our core aspirations, our core values, and our core beliefs. I want you to imagine two hypothetical people. One person has no core aspirations. They aren't clear on their core values, but they have a pleasure-centered, fun life. And their core beliefs are that life is about fun, and they don't really believe in their own ability to achieve any goals. Okay, that's person one. Now I want you to imagine person two. They have a core aspiration to impact 1 billion lives, to have the most successful business they can possibly have, and to be in the most magnificent, intimate relationship possible. Okay, their core values are personal development, growth, mindset, love, virtue, all these things, right? And then their core belief is that they can do anything they set their mind to. See, I just described two different people, and we can all extrapolate what their lives look like. There's no right or wrong, okay? The first person is most likely going to have a lot more fun and kind of drift around and be a little reactive and probably less proactive. The second person is going to be super, super structured and proactive because they have massive ambition and aspiration. The key is to choose. If you don't know both options, you never really chose. You know, and I wish that I was presented with that when I was younger. Because had I been, I would have been more proactive about choosing in advance. The reason why I thought I had to choose between success and love, I think, is because I didn't understand it fully. And now, Emilia and I are going away this weekend to New Hampshire. And we're going to work. We're working all day Saturday. But we prepped for this. We planned for this a month ago. And we want to live an evergreen lifestyle where if we do want to travel, we can still work. And we've designed our life that way. It's all proactive. And we decided, we already planned it in the calendar, going to the gym on Friday night. We're leaving Friday night to go to New Hampshire. We already booked the Airbnb. We made sure it was really nice and had great Wi-Fi. All day Saturday is a working day for both of us. Coaching calls, relationship talks, team meeting, book club, all that. And then Sunday is a hike. and we planned in advance to integrate our relationship with our goals. And then on Sunday, we'll check in and we'll talk about leadership and life and all that stuff. And so there is a way. There's a way to integrate and there's a way to balance. I think the key is that if you don't understand yourself and you don't understand your partner, it's going to be really hard to make those decisions effectively.
And I think the other important thing, too, is like, I want to lower the barrier of entry. I want to lower the intimidation level. Okay, when I say this, I mean it in the most humble way possible, and I want you to stay with me with this. I've worked every day for the last year or 2 years. I don't know the last time I took a day off, a full day off.
Right.
But
Same.
sometimes working for me it doesn't necessarily mean I'm grinding away. Like, sometimes working for me is getting my system of success done.
Right.
And I want you to understand that, like, Dave Meltzer has travel days and non-travel days. When he travels, he does a minimum of whatever amount of exercise, a minimum of the meditation, blah, blah, blah. What if you had similar days where Saturday you did some work? You did some work. Sunday you did some work. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's just posting on social media. Maybe it's building a relationship with a potential podcast listener or potential client, right? Maybe it's listening to 20 minutes of a book.
Right.
You could do that and go for a hike.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
I think it's that. It doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Right. It's not a work day or a non-work day.
I've told Taryn many times, like, I cannot wait to travel the world with you. I will just have to be more disciplined than you. Right. I'll have to when you're sleeping and I'm watching you snuggling in bed at 8 a.m., I'll hopefully have already been working for 4 hours. So that way when you get up, I can be present.
Right.
That's just the way I'm going to design my life. Now, again, maybe your life isn't that way, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But it's about creating the balance that you need.
Right. To stay in alignment.
To stay in alignment. I don't think it's 50-50.
Right.
I think most of us are probably on the opposite side. You tend to work, and you say, like, I haven't been taking enough self-care. I always was on the other end of, like, yeah, man, I've just been kind of hanging out way too much. I need to work more. It's about finding the right balance and then figuring out, okay, how do I sustain that with my relationships? Right? Not necessarily just your intimate relationships.
Right.
This is a whole nother thing. My buddy Matt, shout out to Matt. I know that when I lived with Matt for like 3 or 4 years. I know he would get frustrated when I would go to bed early when we were playing like Call of Duty or whatever. But now I know he knows at a deeper level, like, oh, okay, yep, makes sense now because he's an entrepreneur and he knows
what it takes. If
the people in your life don't understand what you're doing, it's going to be way harder for them to understand why you're doing what you're doing. In terms of the bedtimes, in terms of you work for yourself. Why can't you come out at noon? It's like, well, I know I work for myself, but I actually have to be more disciplined than most people because I'm the one who's writing the paychecks.
Right.
So I think that's an important distinction too. The best way to balance your goals and your relationships is to make sure that the people in the relationships understand your goals. And that is so important. And you got to give yourself permission to do that.
What happens when they don't understand your goals? Like, you can try to communicate it, but what if it's someone who's never had big goals?
I think you're probably going to break rapport and they might be frustrated.
Right.
You've dealt with that. I've dealt with that. I know listeners and the NLU family, people of the NLU family who have dealt with that. I think it's just, I love mixed martial arts, right? I love watching UFC or Bellator or whatever it is on a Saturday night. If you don't like that or value that, I'm probably not going to watch it with you because it's not going to be as enjoyable.
Of course.
I've never watched it with you, right? I don't think.
No.
Right? I kind of watch it by myself. I watch it with Taryn because there's not that many people. Look, if you like MMA or UFC, please slide in my DMs because I need more people like that in my life. But it's very similar. You don't understand. If you don't understand what I'm watching, you're not going to enjoy it.
Right.
You're not going to understand the conversation around it. So I just think it's some people. I think you have to show, like, look, this is what I'm doing. This is important to me.
Right.
But I think the problem is that a lot of people don't. There was a quote, I think it was Bob Proctor. He said, the people in your life, it's not that they don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you leave.
Right.
And it's like, oh, interesting.
Such a good frame.
It's such a good distinction.
That is the science of getting rich. It's such a good speech.
It says prosperity on it.
It does. We're watching the same YouTube video, same speech, but it's
not
titled something different.
I paid for this.
Oh,
is it
you
free
did?
on YouTube? Let me check this out.
Yeah. Yeah, it is free on YouTube.
Classic.
I know I have that speech. I don't want to say I've memorized. I've listened to it dozens of times. So good. So good.
I'll find it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this or listening to this, it's obvious that you want to get to the next level of your life. We can help you get there faster.
In 3 months from today, your life can look completely different. Here's how. Group coaching. Here's what you're going to get. So you're going to get bi-weekly calls with Kevin and myself. You're going to be on a team of 10 like-minded, growth-oriented individuals. You're also going to be in a WhatsApp chat with Kevin and I and the entire team, 24/7 access to chat. Also, you're going to get bi-weekly progress reports and peak performance tracking.
Guys, this is a great opportunity for those who can't afford one-on-one coaching with Alan and myself. We have helped dozens and dozens of people get to the next level at this point. Go to nextleveluniverse.com, click group coaching, or find the link in the show notes.
Talk to you soon. So I was on the phone with a client yesterday, and I told them, I said, the people in your life want to understand you.
There it is.
And I've said this many times, they might not be able to. And here's what I mean. And I told them, I said, you both are mothers. I've never given birth. I might want to understand what that might be like, but I've never experienced it.
Yeah.
And so if you're out there right now and you're listening, just understand this one fundamental thing that I wish I knew earlier in life. If you do have huge goals, like really do, not like pretending to or I should, but like actually do. Like if you have massive goals in your heart, like massive goals, and it could be I intend to be a millionaire. It can be I intend to open this business. I mean, even opening a business, you're already 1 in 100, and then out of those 1 in 100, the people who succeed is even lower. So like you're already kind of a quote unquote weirdo, for lack of better phrasing, if you want to start your own business, right? Because most people don't. Mm. And so just understand that people might not understand what that actually takes. And just like I genuinely have no clue what it's like to give birth, maybe the people in your life have no clue what it's like to put the weight on your shoulders of massive goals. Elon Musk wanting to colonize Mars, that's a massive goal.
I'd say it's pretty big.
That's not what we're talking about here. That's how many people can understand Elon and what it takes to be him. Truly.
Very few.
Very few. And that's par for the course for him. And this is what I'm learning, Kev. Can I want to be an Olympic gold medalist and not be misunderstood? When there's only what?
Not many.
Not many? Because
we did a thing the other day, and I don't remember the stat, but it was like, there's 15,000 high school football players, there's 7,500 college football players, there's X amount, like probably, I don't know, say 4,500 like semi-professional football players, and then I think there's 1,200 NFL players
right
at any given time. Like the trickle down of that, there's a reason that athletes hang out with athletes.
I know. And what is it, like 0.0001% of all football players will ever touch an NFL field?
Yeah, probably something like that.
And so those are statistics, right? So let's say you took 100,000 football players. Okay? How many of them will ever be in the NFL?
I don't know. You're good. Your numbers, Jeff.
It's very, very low. And so just if you're out there listening, just understand that. Just understand that if you don't have big goals, that's fine. There's always a next level. Okay? Mm-hmm. If you do, you kind of have to understand what comes with that. If you have massive dreams and you expect to not be misunderstood, I'm sorry. You're just Jeffin. You will be misunderstood. And that's par for the course. It is what it is. And that doesn't mean you can't try to explain it. That doesn't mean you can't be in love with someone who doesn't have big goals. It just means it will be harder. And I've seen no exception to that rule, especially in relationship talks.
And you should try to explain it.
Right.
It's worth, just for the record, the book I'm reading by Bob Proctor is The Science of Prosperity.
Okay. Oh, it's a book.
It's an audiobook. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The audiobook might have got repurposed onto YouTube.
It's a speech.
Okay.
It's a speech,
yeah.
So that might be it. Yeah. It's interesting, and this is the thing. I want you guys to set goals, and if one of your goals is to have the most amazing relationship, it's possible.
For sure.
You're probably going to have to be a little bit more disciplined. That's all. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to be a little bit more disciplined, and your standards in terms of what you're going to put in and get out, are a little bit higher. Mm-hmm. That's okay. Like Alan said, no matter where you are, there's a next level. I'm coming at this from a different frame, and I've had a lot of realizations of this. And I think group coaching has highlighted this to me, that not everybody wants to change the world.
No.
right? Not in the way that we do necessarily. And
No,
that's, I think that we're in this echo chamber of the people that we see are like already changing the world. So I assume everybody wants that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure that when I hop on this microphone, I'm speaking to everybody. To everybody, wherever you are, no matter what you want. Maybe you want to be the best parent, the best teacher, you want to have the dog shelter that I talk about every single time.
For sure.
It's all going to take a different level of
Commitment,
knowledge, mentors, coaches, community, masterminds,
Discipline.
habits, discipline. It's going to take a different level of all that. But understand that balancing these things is also discipline.
Mm-hmm.
It's also discipline. You just have to figure out, and we all know, like, consciously, you know if you're doing the right thing to the degree that you
know
can.
if you're in alignment.
Yeah, you know. And
deep down, if you want to look at it.
when this person came to me and it's like, yeah, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to do these things, it was like, I'm doing them. You can do them.
Right.
I'm doing them.
But at one point, you were afraid you couldn't too.
I know. But I think the ability to give this person the perspective around the corner of like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Just work a little harder on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just work. It's not worth it. It's not worth you saying, yeah, we can't ever do trivia night again. Like, it's not worth it.
Right.
Or is it? That's
Right.
the thing.
Right.
And that was the question. Is this person the person you see in your future? Yeah. I suggest from my point of view, I would have these tough conversations now
Right.
and figure out the best way to do this, because if that's important to this person, you're going to have to balance. You just are.
Right.
I said, and the example I used was like, Alan and Emilia are so rare. Like, they're so rare that most people value quality time and fun, unique experiences more than both of you.
For sure.
I would say that's a fair thing.
For sure.
Right? So I think it's they value it more than I do, most people.
For sure.
Right? So I think it's important to understand the love languages, whether it's an intimate partner or a friend partner. Understand their love languages.
Right.
If it's quality time, you're already playing a little bit of a different game.
For sure.
And I just think it's important to know that. I don't know that in terms of this episode I have any quote-unquote answers, but what I do know is my goal with this is to raise your awareness of, you know what, other people are doing it too. But just make sure you're actually, I guess, don't use it as an out.
Would it be, whether it's a friend or a family member, or, that was 40 seconds, just so you know. Whether it was a friend, a family member, or an intimate partner, or an associate, when you do evolve, your core aspirations, core values, core beliefs evolve. And when you improve and you change, which if you're listening to the show, you're doing, you're going to reallocate time in different ways. And I think I want to make something clear here before we go. So Emilia and I appreciate the kind words, we want to spend more time with each other than we currently get to. And when I say get to, that's the wrong frame, because we could. So for those of you who don't know, we spend 2 nights a week together, and then we're going to the gym 5 times a week together. Every single time I see her, every single time, I always want more time. Always. I've never not wanted to just stay in her orbit. Never. Even when we're doing separate muscle groups, I'm like, she and I are still like making sure we're near each other. It's like cute, but also kind of like, Alan, like you can go work out on your own, right? God forbid. We always want to spend more time together, but we understand that it's not aligned to do that, if that makes sense. Because our goals won't allow that. That's probably the wrong frame. This quick story will illuminate this for everybody listening. I had a dear friend of mine reach out. So when I say dear friend, I might as well call him my brother. I met him when I was 5 years old. Okay? He was 4, I was 5. To say that we grew up together is an understatement. We were basically brothers. And when we were teenagers, were obsessed with a game called Diablo 2 that you've heard me talk about. Okay? Obsessed with it. And I love that game. Like, best game ever created other than maybe Halo. And if you're out there listening and you have heard of Diablo 2, one of the best games in existence.
Which
ever.
you probably haven't.
Yeah, which you probably haven't unless you're like 30. So, love this game. Every single part of me lights up when I think about this game. I literally stay up at night thinking about this game. Okay? No bullshit. He hits me up, texts me saying, "Oh my God, they're remastering Diablo 2. They're doing a new launch. It's going to be on Xbox." and me, you, and Nick, another dear friend from my childhood, are going to play like we should play. I want every listener to understand something. Every part of me wants to do that. Okay? Wants to. Okay? And I don't want to say every part, 90% of me wants to do that. I would enjoy that thoroughly. But I honestly would regret it. And I want people to understand this fundamental. The reason I would regret it is because it is not aligned with my greatest potential and greatest contribution. Playing video games, for anyone out there listening, might be the right play for you. That might be fun for you. I want to do it too. But for me, I've defined it's not aligned with what I chose in advance that I want. And I always have a hard time explaining that, but I want people to know that I want to spend more time with Emilia. I want to play video games. I want to do these other things. But you know what I want more? I want my goals more. You don't have to not want to do that stuff. You just have to want your aspirations more. And for me, I want my aspirations more. But remember, that's when I say my aspirations. What are your aspirations? What are your core values? Maybe you should go play Diablo 2 with your friend from back then, right? Maybe you should. I know that it's not aligned for me, but figure out what's aligned for you.
It's so important. And I appreciate that. I think that's, you and I are different in that regard. And I think we've been leaning into that of like, look, I'll grind. I'll work. Like, I've been up since 4. We're going to be in the studio till 8. Like, today's going to be an 18, 19-hour day. Like, cool, whatever. But I'm also tomorrow going to sleep in, most likely, and I'm going to recoup.
Right.
And then the chances are, at some point tomorrow, I'm going to lay low, and I might throw video games on.
Right.
Tomorrow night.
Do it.
Right? But I think it's important, too. And also, we have the ball rolling, so we have a lot of momentum in business. I want you to understand that also.
Right.
That was not an option for the last, year and a half. Like, that wasn't an option.
Right.
It should, at the end of the day, if you feel like you're out of alignment, figure out why.
Right.
Are you out of alignment with your goal, or are you out of alignment with your relationship?
Right.
Relationships. Hone that.
Yep.
Figure out what would you regret more.
Right.
Not getting your goal or not keeping your relationships. Like, sometimes it is that simple.
And maybe there's a way to integrate.
There probably is.
There probably is.
It's just about finding that.
Yep.
This is a powerful episode.
Very good.
Heavy
good.
episode. But again, we've seen so much of this in the Next Level family. Like, if you're out there listening right now, you might be dealing with this right now.
For sure.
If you haven't dealt with it, you might in the future.
You most likely will.
And we
to
want
some extent.
We want to help you see around the corner.
And maybe you're on the other end where someone else has big goals and you don't. And you don't understand them. Let them fly if they have to. Find a way to integrate if you can, but don't hold grudges. There are no justified resentments.
I like that.
Oh, thank you, brother. It's Wayne Dyer.
Wayne Dyer.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Wayne.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Wayne. Ladies and gentlemen, I am opening up a limited number of one-on-one mindset clients. So I have moved away from that because I was doing a lot of podcast stuff. But from doing calls with people, from talking to the team, that is something that I really, really, really enjoy doing. So I will be opening up a limited number of that. Just shoot me a DM, go to the website, whatever. But you guys know I'm very responsive to my DMs. Literally $99 a week. If you want to talk to me every week, we can talk every week. If you want to talk once a month, we can talk once a month. We can talk about anything. Relationships, habits, helping you be more consistent, helping you with speaking, helping you with podcasting. Whatever is going on in your life, I'm sure I can add value in some way, shape, or form, because that is what we're all about. Wherever you are, there is a next level, and I would absolutely love to help you get there.
I just want to clarify one thing for everyone that you said. So we said $99 a month.
That's a $99 a week.
Oh, $99 a week. That's what I mean. So it's $99 per call. So you can do weekly, you can do bi-weekly, you can do monthly. It's only $99 per call.
Saving me.
Which, by the way, and I just want to say this transparently, like, there's no version of you jumping on the phone with Kevin consistently and your life not improving drastically. I've just seen it time and time again. Of course. And it's just, if you want to get to the next level, you're going to have to get mentors and coaches. Kevin, I mean, I can name all mine. I have dozens at this point of mentors and coaches, and so does Kevin, and that's why we've grown so much. So please jump on the phone with Kev. It's going to change your life for sure.
Going to get that in writing?
That whole thing. Yeah, for sure. I'll have to write it out for you. Also, if that price point is not good for you, that's why we have group coaching. Okay, so group coaching is $97 a month for 3 months. And basically, we're opening Group 3. Group 3 is launching May 7th. So get in as soon as possible. You're going to get basically 6 calls, 6 sessions with Kevin and myself. You're going to be in a WhatsApp chat with the entire team. You're going to also have an assistant coach. The assistant coach, I believe, is going to be Tiffany, actually. And we're there to support you. You're going to have peak performance tracking. You're going to have a KPI. We're going to help you get clear on your goals. At the end of the day, you're going to be on a team who cares about your goals, who's going to support you every step of the way. We've even gone as far as to one person from Group 1, we have jumped on solo calls when they felt like they were off. So just join that team. Imagine what your life could be like on a winning team, and that's what that's about.
Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We appreciate you. Up next, we have a very special episode with one and only David Meltzer. We're actually recording this on Wednesday. We're hopping on our LinkedIn Live coaching session with him tonight, and that will be the episode you will hear Sunday. So we're recording this on Wednesday. You're hearing this on Friday. That'll drop Sunday. We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, we do not have fans. We have family. If you're afraid to reach out to me, I challenge you to do it anyway, because when we're scared, we do it anyway. That's how you get to the next level.
One direct message could change your life.
That's what they say. We hope you enjoyed this. We'll talk to you on Sunday.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.